after the amount of hemming and hawing we heard about this assignment over spring break, I decided to do the assignment to see really if it's worthy of complaints.
You want me to do the 7th grade one?
Yeah, I would probably do the 7th grade one.
Well, for you too.
So here we go. I'm going to do this assignment. If it takes ridiculous amounts of time, fine. I'll change it. If it doesn't, then we will continue with what was stated originally. All right, so again, this was the test that was given in, what's it called? Louisiana. And we'll go through the questions one at a time. And let's see what we get. All right. So we have a title page, administration instructions, blah, 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 blah. All right. So I am going to enlarge this. What model is not a function? Well, you know that a function has to pass the vertical line test. So if there's a vertical line anywhere in the function, it doesn't pass. So if I look at this, I notice that every x value has one corresponding y value. Therefore, this is a function because there is one corresponding y value for every x. Here we have one corresponding y value for every x again. Now, it just happens that the y value is the same for all of my x's, and this will produce a horizontal line. And a horizontal line is going to be a function because it passes the vertical line test. Question B, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different values for one x. That would produce a vertical line. It would produce a vertical line at where x is equal to 2. This would clearly fail the vertical line test. So the answer is C. This is not a function. Question 2. Janet graphed a triangle on the coordinate grid shown. She then rotated the thing 90 degrees clockwise. Now the easiest way to deal with these types of problems, oh, it's not going to let me do that. Oh well, I'll just rotate the whole page. The easiest way to deal with this problem is to rotate your paper about the origin clockwise. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So now we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the negatives are down here, the negatives are here. So now we have B prime as 4, 2, 4, 2. A prime is 4, 4. C prime is 1, 2. So let's rotate this paper back. No, it's not going to do it. How obnoxious. So you would have an easier time of this because you are able to just rotate the paper. So I rotated it back, and so let's see what the question's asking. What are the coordinates of the vertices of A prime, B prime, C prime after rotation? Well, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. These two do not match, so I can strike them right away. The next one's 4, 2. That matches this one, not this one, so the answer is D. Question 3. The choir director set up chairs for a concert with an equal number of rows and columns. So we have a square. The number of chairs in each row and column is represented by the algebraic expression square root of y, where y is the total number of chairs. What is the number of chairs in each row and in each column if y equals 81? Well, square root of 81 is equal to 9. All right. So hopefully we're doing okay. We've done 3 problems, and it really didn't take a whole lot of time so far. Sorry for the delay. So I'm just checking the answers. C, D, B. We are good. All right. Next problem. Rectangle LOSP has the length shown with some line segments and that are perpendicular. So that means they all meet a 90-degree angle. Which shape is similar to rectangle LOSP? So this rectangle. And our similarity rules say that this has a ratio of 12 over, thank you, 18. 12 over 18 can be reduced. 6 goes into both of them, so that's 2 over 3. Well, let's take a look at our rectangles. This rectangle here is 4 over 12, which equals 1 over 3. Now, well, that doesn't work. Remember, we're looking for a ratio that's equivalent. 6 over 12 is equal to, sorry, 1/2. Now, clearly, the only option is the last one here. 8 over 12 is equal to, well, 4 goes into both of them, 2/3. So it should be, it should have NOSR. But that's not an option. So it gives us LMQP. LMQP. Well, we've disproven that one. LNRQ. So it's a LNRN. PR. The Canyon. Welcome to Louisiana. This one. Now we haven't tried that one, so this is 10 over 12. That's 5 over 6. That does not work. MNRQ. We've disproven that one. OSRN. Right, yeah, there we go. So that's the one right there. The answer is D. Paul creates a scatter plot with a negative association. This negative association is simply stating that there is a negative slope. And the scatter plot is entitled Minutes Spent at the Mall. So we have minutes at mall. And we have a scatter plot that looks like this. So as you spend more minutes at the mall, something is decreasing. Well, will the amount that you walk decrease? No, because you're going to be walking more. The money available to spend? Yeah, probably. That's going to go down because as you move places, you're going to spend more money. So that's clearly the best option. All right, 6. Use a graph below to answer the question. Quadrilateral PQRS will be rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the origin in equilateral, resulting in equilateral PQ prime, Q prime, R prime, S prime. Which statement is true? Okay. First, RS will be parallel. Well, RS cannot be parallel. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Just make life easy. So I'm going to draw this shape. Now, if I were you, I would just take my paper and rotate it. But since that was such an arduous thing to do last time, let's just draw. So I rotate it 90 degrees clockwise again. This looks something like that. So RS and S prime. Definitely. Actually, you know what? Let's make life even easier. I'm going to rotate this back. Let's go cute. So I'm going to redraw it, but I'm going to put in my letters so that I don't have to guess. It'll make it easier to see where things end up. All right. So P. There we go. So RS prime is definitely not parallel. So we can strike this right away. SP is parallel to R prime S prime. Well, that is reasonably close. That's reasonably close. Let's see if we can find a better answer, though. Let's keep going. The angle measure of P prime will be 80 degrees. Well, was it 80 degrees already? No. And you know, similar shapes do not change angle measurements. The angle of Q will be 80 degrees. Well, if Q is originally 80 degrees, Q prime will be 80 degrees. So this is the only one that will be true because similar shapes do not change angle measurements. 7. Donna rode her bike for 3 miles. She traveled 18 miles per hour for the first mile, 15 miles per hour for the second, 21 for her third hour. Which diagram shows the most likely landscape of Donna's ride? So she was going fast. So she was going faster the first mile, slower the second section, and faster for the last one. So I would expect that it's going to be going downhill, then a little up, and then more down. Something like that. Is there one that fits that? Oh, yes, there is. D. Alright, next problem. Camille placed blocks on a table in rows and columns. All the rows and columns had the same number of blocks in them and formed a square, which could be the total number of blocks. Campbell, you can't touch that. Which could be the total number of blocks Camille placed on the table. So all the rows and columns had the same number of blocks in them. It formed a square. So we're looking for a number that is a square number. And the only square number we have here is 121, which means you have an 11 by 11 square. Tess was right. It's going to be hard to show your work because most of them don't require work. Use a grid below to answer. You have a rectangle RSTU and it's rotated about point T. So I'm going to take point T right here. All right. And I'm going to draw this, maybe. How about another color? How about red? There we go. And we learned from our last time. Let's put in our letters. And we're going to rotate it by point T to create a similar shape. The x-coordinate of point T prime is less than the x-coordinate of point U. And their y-coordinates are equal. Alright, well, the only way to make that true is if we rotated this right here. So now we have their y values are equal and t is less than u. What are the coordinates of point R prime? Well, it is 13, 4. So is 13, 4 an option? It is. It's C. And so we're good. Oh, you're welcome. So you got everything answered?
Yep.
Okay. Next question. Oh, I love toy racetracks. Use a picture to answer the question. The picture shows the racetrack. What graph models the estimated speed of the car toy as it moves through the racetrack? So we are going to have the speed of the racetrack right here is 0. This is going to be a very high speed. Here it's going to be a low speed. Here it's going to be another high speed. Here it's going to be a low speed, and then it's going to tail up just a little bit. So we need one that starts at 0. right now we can eliminate this one and this one because they don't start at 0. We all know that speed does not, you do not go at a constant rate as you're accelerating down a hill. So you know this cannot be the right answer. And so it has to be B. The United States exported approximately 30 million metric tons of wheat over the entire year. What is the number of metric tons of wheat written in scientific notation? Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. D. Which expression is equivalent? So first things first, we know that we have to when you have an exponent outside the parentheses, you have to multiply exponents. So we have 9 to the negative 16, but you're not allowed to have 9 to the negative 16. You can't have a negative exponent. And we know that a to the negative x power is equal to 1 over a to the positive x power, so this has to be equal to 1 over 9 to the 16th. B. 13. Right, in standard notation. So we have 5 point, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I went the wrong way. That is embarrassing. So I know that my answer is going to be a smaller number because I have a negative exponent, which is going to create a decimal or a fraction, not a negative number. So we go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Put in my zeros. And so the answer is, we have 1, 2, 3, it is B. Good job, Anya. The third grader got it before the answer was revealed. Which statement is true about the square root of 2 and pi over 2? Okay, they're both irrational numbers, we know that. Since half of 2 is 1 and half of 3 is 2.5, then the square root of 2 is less than pi over 2. Square root does not mean half. So since they are using half here, we know this is not mathematically correct. Since the square root of 2 is slightly less than 1.5, and half of pi is slightly more than 1.5, this sounds pretty good.
So C?
I think it's C, because square root of 2 is like 1.4, and it's irrational, so it goes on forever. But anyways, C is the correct answer. It's helpful if you know what the square root of 2 is, though.
I don't know what square root.
You don't know what square root of 2 is. Well, but you know that the square root symbol does not mean divide by 2. So right away, you can get rid of those two. And we know that the pi is 3.14, which is not slightly less than 2. And anyways, it has it switched around anyways, because we know. So this right there would be enough to know that it can't be right. All right, 15. Use the number line to answer the question. Which point on the number line is the best approximation for the square root of 6? Well, the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 9 is equal to 3. So we know that the square root of 6 is going to be somewhere in between here. So we know z and y cannot be true. Also, we know that the square root of 6 is going to be a lot closer to the square root of 4 than the square root of 9. So therefore, the only possible answer is W. 16. Which pair of transformations moves quadrilateral 1 to quadrilateral 2? All right, so I've noticed that first that it is oriented in a different direction. So that means there's some sort of reflection that had to happen. That is far more likely than a rotation. So I know that this rotation is probably not a good idea. Likewise, rotating 180 degrees would put it way over here. Or reflecting over the x-axis would put it here, and then rotating 180 degrees would bring it here. So we know that can't be right either. So it's either A or D. So let's look what they say. reflect it over the line y equals -3. So the y equals -3 is going to be this line right here. So if I reflect it over that angle, I'll end up with a shape that comes down here and up here, and it'll look something like this. And then it says rotate it 90 degrees. Oh, if I rotate it 90 degrees, counterclockwise, that would swing it up here. That actually might be the one. So where is my thing? I'm looking for my little, there it is. Rotation, center rotation. So I'll put it about the origin. And I am going to rotate this and see what I get. Counterclockwise 90 degrees. That looks really close, folks. So 16 is probably going to be A. 16 is going to be A. And 16 is in fact A. All right. Moving on. Misha asked 10 different coworkers how many people and pets are living in their homes. She used the responses to create the scatter plot shown. And so we have people and pets. Which statement is true about the number of people and pets living in homes of the coworkers? As the number of people living in the home increases, the number of pets increases. Well, I don't know about that, because as we have 3, 4, and 5, we have this box here, or this, I mean, it stays fairly constant at 1. You have these two people who love their animals. As the number of people living in the home increases, the number of pets decreases. That's clearly not true. As the number of, as the number of people living in the home decreases, the number of pets decrease. And there's no relationship between them. I'm willing to go with there's no relationship between the two, because it really does seem that people either have 1 or none pets, and then you have 4 people who have a little extra pets. We, at our family, we have 2 pets. We have a ball python, which is Anya's. Her name is Scales. And we have a bearded dragon, which is Campbell's, and his name is Buddy. 18. What is the value of that? Okay. So if the rule is you add the exponents if the base is the same. So in this case, we have 5 to the 4th plus -6, which is equal to 5 to the -2nd. But remember, you can't have the negative exponent, which is, so this is equal to 1 over 25, or 1 over 5 squared. And that is that one. The reason why you're getting so many negative exponent problems is because scientific notation is becoming a bigger deal as math and science are getting emphasized. The diagram shows triangle JKL and triangle MNP. Which statement is true about the slope of JL and MP? Well, the slope of, it's the same line, folks, so the slope should be the same. The slope is the same as, because it's similar to, well, I'm not sure if they're similar or not. Let's find out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this has a slope of -1, because I went down 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait a second. So that's 7. And this was 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so this was 3, and this was, that's a half, not 1, so it's a half. Campbell, so 1, 2, 3 and a half. So, does 6 over 7 equal 3 over 3.5? And the answer is yes, because I have a scale factor of 2. So therefore, this is true. All right, number 20. Which comparison is true? Let's turn them all into perfect squares. All right, so that's the square root of 16. 4.5, let's look at the other side. Fine, 4.5. So multiply these out together. So I got 16 plus 2 is 18. So I get the square root of 20.25. Well, wait a second. Is 18 in between those two? Yes, it is. So A is the correct answer. All right, 21. We have another triangle and another transformation. All right, it's dilated this time. Now remember, dilation means it's going to get bigger with its center at the origin. And the origin is right here. So it's getting dilated by a scale factor of 3. And then the dilation is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the origin to create rectangle E prime, F prime, G prime, H prime. What are the coordinates of the vertices of that? All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a straight line. This is going to be my and so the new shape will have vertices along these lines, and they're using the scale factor of 3. So I go over 1, up 3. So over 1 times 3 is 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 1. So we have 3 comma 9. So let's see which ones have 3. Oh, but then I have to rotate it. Crud. So then let's do this again. So now we have 9 comma 3. So here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, 9. 1, 2, 3. So then over here we have 9 and 3. Okay, it's going to be somewhere over here. Sorry, my line wasn't perfect. And same deal over here. So 9, 3. All right. And now let's rotate this. And we're rotating it 90 degrees clockwise. It's going to be somewhere around here. All right. Negative 4 comma 6. Negative 4, 6. That's going to be over there. Well, that is plausible. 6 comma negative 4. 6, negative 4. Now that's clearly not right. So we know this one doesn't work. Oops, sorry. B. 4 comma 6. 4 comma negative 6. Now that does look like it might be plausible. Negative 6 comma 4. So negative 6 comma 4. Oh no, it's too high. Oh jeez. Come on. So that one doesn't look right. It really does not want to cooperate. Come on. It's like I'm overloading the computer. Alright. There we go. Alright, so the answer ends up being C. is I did not rotate it well enough. And the reason why I know it's C is because when I did my dilation, I end up with 3s and 9s. So that can right now tell you that those two are off. I know it's C because at 3, I don't end up with 3 comma negative 9. I just don't. So I know it's C. 22. Weather station recorded the amount of rain that fell during an 8-hour time using a rain gauge. The findings are recorded. All right. Between which hours was the rate greater than the rate in which the rain? Okay. So this has a slope of 1.5 over 1. So that's 3 over 2. This definitely was going at 2. So we want option B, because that has a slope of 2. Each day of the month, Carl earns an allowance. That was my dad's name, Carl. In cents equal to the square of the date of the month. Which is the number of cents Carl would earn in a single day? So we're looking for a square number. There's only one square number, and that's 64. All right, which set of ordered paired models a function? Well, clearly not this one, because we have 5 multiple times in the x value. Clearly not this one, because we have negative 1/2 multiple times. This one has 2 repeated, so it can't be this one. So I was just looking at the x value, so I was looking for repeats in the x value. Number 25. A company used about 7.4 times 10 to the 5th sheets of paper in a month. Of the paper used during the month, the accounting department used about that much of sheets. How many more sheets of paper were used by other departments during the month? All right, so we have 7.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 740,000. This department had 1, 2, 3. So we had 8,900. So we subtract 0, 0, 9, 1, 1, 1, 3, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7.3 times 10 to the 5th is clearly the answer. Thank you. Which number is irrational? An irrational number is a number that cannot be expressed as a fraction with whole numbers. Now, you would be very tempted to say this one because you know square roots are irrational, but the square root of 121 is 11. These are already whole numbers, so you know that is definitely a rational number. So these two are out. Now this one is curious. It has a pattern, but this pattern doesn't repeat over and over again. That is the earmark of an irrational number. This one does. So it's not right. So I'm going to stop, and I'm going to do the second half on another video.